does not balance out to earning enough to put money into savings, cover all of my spending, and cover my rent. But for once in my life, I'm not freaking out. And just be more mindful of keeping the right envelopes with me, taking an extra 10 seconds before I leave the house to think, what am I going to do? What am I potentially gonna spend money on? Which envelopes do I need? Put them in here, carry them with me. It's funny looking back because people were like roasting me in the comments about that, and now when I sit here and look back, I'm so glad that I did that because that's life. Sometimes you've got to take from your savings, and I'm not ashamed of that. Hi, you're gonna join me? You never join me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the monthly money update for the month of December. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's December. As you're watching this, this is also Vlogmas Day 5. So if you're tuned into Vlogmas, I hope you're enjoying it. I know this isn't technically a vlog, but it's still us hanging out, so I wanted to include it in Vlogmas. And of course, it's our monthly tradition. I don't know how long we've been doing these monthly money updates, but I don't think I've missed a month in over a year because I know I did one in December. So we've been at this for a very, very long time. And if you've been with me from the get-go, I'm so grateful for you. If you've been with me since last month or even since yesterday, I'm so grateful for you and happy to hang out and talk about money. If you are new to my channel, well, welcome. My name is Zoe, I'm 26 and I live in Montreal, Canada. My goal with these videos is to make talking about money a more comfortable space and just a more real space. You know, I'm not here as someone who's a professional, and I'm definitely not here as someone who is perfect in any way. You guys have been along the journey with me of just basically getting my finances together, and we're very much still in the middle of that journey. So I'm all for trying things. I'm all for learning from your mistakes. I make mistakes every single month, and yeah, it's okay to do so. And it's just, this is just a place for us to learn together and hopefully learn from one another and enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourselves while talking about money. There is no boring or like strict advice over here because I'm just not into that. Like, I don't take that kind of advice, so I'm not gonna give it to you guys. As usual, we are going to start this video out by talking about my feelings about money from the previous month, the month of November, what I'm looking forward to in December, and then we will do everyone's newfound favorite, cash envelope stuffing, and talking about what I spent and all of that. So the first section of this video is a lot more emotional, and the second half is a little bit more tangible, if you will, and we'll head over to my desk for that later. My dog is chewing on a bone and she's dragging it on the ground, so I'm just gonna go remove that. Okay, I always feel bad taking her bone away, but it's so loud and it distracts me, and she's walking over to the table to go grab it. No, leave it, leave it. Good girl. Go on the couch, go on the couch. She's looking at me like, why do you hate me? I love you. Okay, so let's talk about money this month. This month of November, I feel like I didn't have as good of a handle on my money as I did in October. I think there's two reasons for it. One is that in October, I was so excited about the cash envelopes method that I brought my envelopes with me everywhere, and I was just really, really like passionate and excited, etc. This month, I was still excited. I still love this method, and I think I just think it's gonna change my life. I think it already is changing my life. However, I got a bit scared from some of the comments, people saying like, don't carry all of your envelopes around with you, like be super, super careful. And it's true, I live in a big city and you don't wanna be carrying around nearly $1,000 of cash with you. Like, it's just not safe. So I kind of did too much of an extreme though, where I didn't carry anything with me, and then I always ended up spending on credit, telling myself that I would reconcile later, and then life got in the way and I didn't reconcile. The other reason, which is similar to life getting in the way, is this month of November has been so incredibly busy that I've been very scatterbrained. I forget stuff, I forget like where I'm going, I forget to run errands. Like, I went to the bank today to get the cash for this video, and I was supposed to do that 2 days ago. And so 2 days ago I said I was gonna get it. I walked right past the bank, didn't do it, I forgot. Yesterday, same thing. So the fact that I've been a little bit scatterbrained and just not like being present and not mindful makes it harder to be mindful of your spending, which is so, so, so important. It also meant that I was forgetting my envelopes. I was not planning, like, so let's say I was going out, I wouldn't think ahead, like, okay, what am I gonna have for dinner? And then I'd catch myself in a pickle having to buy a pre-made meal or buying dinner out. So yeah, it wasn't the best. That being said, I've already sat down and looked at all of the numbers, and it's not as bad as I anticipated, and it's also not as bad as it ever was in the past. So I think my overall feeling about money was that I didn't think about it enough. But that's also a good thing, because sometimes I think about money so much, not just in relation to being conscious of what I'm spending, but worrying about money. So kind of this like negative feeling about money, worrying. And I didn't have that worry this month, although I totally could, because my income this month was quite low, or is quite low, because I'm still at the end of the month doing all of my invoicing and wrapping up what my income is going to be. But actual cash that came in from October, like usually I'm getting paid 1 month later because I'm a freelancer, there wasn't a ton. I didn't have a high earning month in October, which means that cash wise, I didn't receive a ton of cash in November. And it's very unlikely to not feel freaked out or feel scared about that. And I think that's just because, one, I've been working really hard, and I don't know, I guess I'm just trusting things better and knowing that everything will come in time, and that just because I had one slow month and it's already picked back up, I know that next month I'm gonna, you know, increase my income and everything's gonna be okay. I also have confidence because I know how well I did in October, that I've proven to myself that I am capable of reducing my spending, I am capable of sticking to a method. So I know that if I did it once, I can do it again. And I think there's like a quote about that, about like building self-confidence is keeping promises to yourself. And so in October, I kept the promise to myself, which means that I know I can do it again. So if we were to recap, the overall feeling is feeling positive about money, not feeling too worried, not feeling too stressed, which is amazing. And I'm so grateful for that. On the other hand, not thinking about money enough, perhaps on a day-to-day basis. So let me know in the comments, how have you been feeling about money this month? I know as we move into December, it is a kind of a stressful month for a lot of people as we think about buying gifts and buying, you know, a lot of stuff for other people. The holidays can be really expensive, even groceries. Like the cost of groceries have gone up so much. So to think about cooking like a holiday feast, that's gonna be expensive. I guess I hadn't really thought too much about it. I wasn't planning on changing my budget, like actual number for the month of December. I kind of just want to see if I can stick to it, especially by shifting my spending from, so rather than continuing to spend the same amount on myself while adding in spending on others, it's kind of just for me about nulling out the spending on myself and saving all of that money to be able to spend on others. I also kind of know that I might just break my budget in December, and I'm not saying that to just give myself a green card and like go crazy, but I'm giving that to myself as an okay, that if I do overspend a little bit in December, it's okay, we can pick it back up in January. So I think I have a good base. Let me know how you are feeling. Why are you being so gluey, huh? She's just got her paw on me. She's never like this when I film. It's so bizarre. So speaking of you guys, I'm gonna show you one more time my cash envelope system. This system is from the line. I know that so many of you have gone ahead and got it. It's a great way to just start out this system kind of in style, and which I find motivates me to do a better job. I now have 2 folders. So when everyone was saying like, don't carry all that money around, I was like, you're right. So I have one folder to keep at home with the majority of my money, and then I have another folder to carry around on a daily basis. This month, I've learned my lesson about which envelopes need to come with me on a daily basis and which ones can sit at home. So I already know in that sense, I'm gonna do a lot better and just be more mindful of keeping the right envelopes with me, taking an extra 10 seconds before I leave the house to think, what am I going to do? What am I potentially gonna spend money on? Which envelopes do I need? Put them in here, carry them with me. As a Vlogmas treat, I am actually doing a giveaway. So myself and the line, we are doing a giveaway for this system. So you'll get one personal planner, which is what this is called, to clip your cash envelopes into. and 5 totally customized cash envelopes to get you started on your cash envelopes journey. I'm actually not hosting the giveaway in this video specifically. It's in my Vlogmas Day 2 video. So when you see this one, it will still be open. You can head over to that vlog and all the instructions for entering will be in there. So that's just a little plug, and thank you to the line for sponsoring that giveaway. It's amazing. So if you would like to get your hands on this kit, you can enter in the giveaway, and I'll also have it linked down below for anyone who would like to purchase it. So now it's time to talk about what I spent this month. I already sat down at my desk and just kind of went over everything, taking a look at what I spent. So the first step in my budgeting routine is to come over to my desk. I like to make it a cozy ambiance because I can tend to get a little anxious. I can feel myself getting stressed out a little bit already before looking at everything. I'll play like music or a podcast. I have a candle burning next to me and just make it like a nice environment. I've been trying really hard and I've been getting a lot better at making budgeting fun and more enjoyable. However, I did have some slip-ups like we talked about this month that are leading me to feel a little bit more anxious sitting down to do this because there's more uncertainty. So I really do think it's the uncertainty that creates the anxiety. So we're gonna abolish all of that right now. I always feel better after I do it, so it's always best just to dive in. First step is going to be to review the cash envelopes, take out what is left. I then need to take a look at my credit card statements because, like I said, this month there was a lot of things that didn't end up getting purchased with cash. I ended up putting them on credit or debit. So I've been keeping a list. Where is it? I've been keeping a list of everything that got purchased on credit or debit and trying to right away take out the cash from the envelope so that I'm reconciled. However, I know I did fall behind, so I have to get caught up on this. So we're gonna see. We're gonna find out how much I spent. We're gonna find out how much I maybe overspent by. I'm anticipating a bit of an overspend. And yeah, this part is a lot of like manual work, and I know a lot of people don't like doing it. However, for me, it's just important to feel like I'm really involved with my money, and I've been a little bit too hands-off this month, so I'm excited to kind of get back in and really, yeah, do all of the accounting, if you will. All right, let's get into it. So that's kind of how I do it. I make it a positive atmosphere. You guys saw all the clips. I did have a pretty comprehensive list, however, of the things that I ended up buying on credit. So some of this was online shopping and some of this was, like I had mentioned, forgetting to bring my envelopes and then therefore being forced to spend on credit because you always have your phone with you. I always have my cards with me in case of an emergency. So I'm gonna list you guys everything that I purchased on credit, and then I'll let you guys know which ones were actually reconciled, meaning I took the cash out of the cash envelope and put it into my special envelope to then later pay off my credit card. When we go over to my desk, I'll explain that whole system because I know I did a really bad job explaining it in my last video, but for now, let's just chat about purchases. So I bought a new pair of shoes. This was my biggest purchase of the month, and I didn't budget for this. I did not budget for these new shoes. And I was kind of debating with myself, like, is this a treat yourself purchase or was this a more necessary purchase? And I mean, I guess really at the end of the day, nothing is absolutely necessary. However, my old shoes had holes in them. And when I would, like when the ground was really cold, I could feel the cold ground through the holes in the sole of my shoes. And so I was just like, okay, Zoe, just get yourself some new shoes, like you need them. So those were $150. I mean, did I need new shoes? Yes. Did I need trendy New Balances? Also yes. This was another one where I was just being kind of a freak. So I sold a bunch of stuff on Poshmark, and I decided that I really wanted that Stanley Cup water bottle. You guys probably know the one I'm talking about. I am a sucker for the trendy water bottle of the moment. Like, I will always, always, always fall for it. Sig, back in the day, fell for that. Hydro Flask, fell for that. What was the other one? Swell, fell for that. Now I'm a Stanley Cup user. I fall for them all. Camelback, fell for that. And I kind of just I rationalized with myself that I had sold some stuff on Poshmark, so therefore it's like it doesn't even touch my budget if I buy this $50 water bottle. So I did that. I don't really regret it, honestly. I really like that water bottle, and it is what it is. I bought some stuff from Ardennes and I returned most of it. So in total, it was $90, but I only kept $20 worth of that purchase. So that came out of the Treat Yourself budget, and I did reconcile that. I had to go to Home Depot and buy some light bulbs that were $20. And I had already spent pretty much my whole home budget elsewhere. So that was $18 that was not really budgeted for, but I mean, my lights were flickering. What are you gonna do? That being said though, it does kind of raise a question of like, should I be keeping my home budget for emergencies? And it's funny because in October, I didn't really spend my home budget until the end of the month because I hadn't used it all month long. So I just treated myself to some stuff from Amazon. And then this month I spent my home budget literally on the 1st of November because Bath & Body Works was having a sale on candles. And then I ended up SOL, as my dad would say, shit out of luck, by the end of the month when I needed new light bulbs. Another thing, this was an unexpected purchase, was from the pharmacy. I bought a night guard. I bought 2 actually, and that cost me $50, which was not budgeted for. I only gave myself $30 in the personal care category. So that $50 was not budgeted for. Groceries, I had to go get groceries and I forgot my cash envelope, so I spent $88.50. I do think that if I had my cash with me, I might have spent less, I don't know. So that I did take out though of my budget. I ordered HelloFresh and I took that out of my budget at the beginning of the month. So last month I trialed HelloFresh. I got like 3 free boxes. It was amazing. I really loved it. I loved the convenience. Everything tasted so good. So I just kind of kept up with it. I kept up with it for 2 weeks before realizing that it's not like so expensive that it's like astronomical or outrageous. However, it only covers dinner, and it's basically the amount that I like to spend on a weekly basis, but only for dinner, which means that I do end up spending more because I still need stuff for breakfast and lunch. So I think that there is room for HelloFresh in my budget. However, last month in November, I did it twice a month, and you guys are gonna see I actually exceeded my groceries budget. So I think moving forward, once a month is going to be the best solution because I don't want to increase my grocery budget. I really like having it at $400. So I got HelloFresh. The first time it was $60. The second time it was $100 because when it was $60, I still had a little bit of my like intro credit that carried over. And then I ordered this extra pancakes kit, which was so good, the second time. So both of those, I did take the cash out of my envelopes. And then I already talked about the Bath & Body Works candles. I bought those on the 1st of the month, took the money out straight away. The rest of the purchases on credit that are sort of day-to-day spontaneous purchases was all groceries. And it was like I bought bread, cheese, lighters. Oh no, that goes in the home category. I bought candle lighters for my new candles, but I bought them later in the month on credit, $8. And then I also got an espresso for $20. So I did overspend in the grocery category by about $50. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. It's also okay because it's groceries, but yeah, moving forward, I think if I reduce the HelloFresh to only once a week, I'll be able to keep my grocery budget in check. So this month, the other thing that happened a lot was I ended up taking money from certain envelopes to make up for spending more than budgeted in other areas. And that's okay. For example, I did not go out for coffee very much at all this month. Like I budgeted for kind of a once a week coffee run and I only went maybe twice. However, I did overspend in the dining out category and ended up taking from the coffee budget. So I went out for dinner once with JS and I paid for the both of us, and that took most of my budget, but I was cool with it because I was like, okay, I just have to be really, really careful as we move towards the end of the month. And then there were a few other times that I just found myself kind of in a pickle, like I spoke about previously, like not being prepared enough. And then I had a lunch date with a friend, and so all of that caused me to overspend in the dining out category. And all of the other categories, I pretty much like either flush, like I spent what I budgeted, which is cool, or I overspent. So not the best, not my best work, but definitely not my worst work. Let's see if right now I can pull up my spending at the end of November for last year, because that will be interesting to compare. So yeah, not my best work, not my worst work. It is what it is. And yeah, now let's head over to my desk. It's gonna be time to, I wanna talk a few more things, cash envelopes, and then we will restuff the envelopes as well. Welcome back to my desk. So the thing that I want to show you is what I kind of breezed over last month and people had a lot of questions about, which is what do I do when I spend something on credit and then I pay it back with cash? So here it is. So last month I just used a generic white envelope, but I got a new custom one from the line that says spent on credit. So let's say the $30 candles. I went into my home wallet, where is it? Let's pretend there was cash in here because it was at the first of the month, but I went into this envelope, I took out $30 and I filled it in here. So this essentially became my mini savings account throughout the month for everything that I put on credit that I did indeed reconcile. I kept a note in here of everything as well so that I would know what the totals were from. And then I will take this to the bank and just put it straight onto my credit card. I didn't do that today when I went to the bank because I just went to an ATM. There was no teller to actually deposit the cash. And sometimes there's coins. Actually, there was no coins today, so I totally could have done it. Back to me being scatterbrained, but I will take this to the bank and deposit it straight onto my credit card to pay it off. So that's how it works. It's definitely not the ultimate best system. Ideally, you would just pay cash as much as possible. However, that's what happened with that. I also got some questions on my 2 previous cash envelopes videos. What do I do about bills? So I do not include bills in my cash budget because there is not a single bill that I pay that is available to pay in cash. Maybe a check, but I would have to mail that in. So I do all of my bills online, and I don't know why I'm like this, but I've never really included my bills in my budget because to me, it's inevitable. Like I don't have a choice but to pay those bills. So I kind of just mindlessly pay them every single month. So these are things like my rent, my car insurance, my hydro. Hydro actually is billed every every 60 days, no. It's like every month and a half, every 45 days, my hydro is billed, so it's a little bit different. Home internet, cell phone, all of that, it's just taken care of automatically because yeah, you don't really have a choice and things are expensive here in Canada. I don't like to think about them. So yes, people sometimes are like, do you even pay rent? Yes, I do. Just because I don't talk about it in a video, I do pay my rent and I actually have to pay it today. So I hope that answers your questions about what do I do to pay back my credit card as well as my bills. Now, speaking of credit card, there are some other purchases on my credit card that don't cycle through this. So like my bills, I don't pay my therapy. I don't pay my therapy out of my cash budget. This is because to me, it's just an essential. And if I were to sit down and think, can I afford therapy? Should I be spending $160 on therapy? It's like, ooh, I'd rather not. But I need it. I need to do it. It's kind of a necessary thing. So I don't like to think about the amount of money. I just pay it and that goes on my credit card. I don't include it in all of this. However, I do, at the moment, seeing as I'm in a pretty good headspace, I'm keeping to only 1 therapy session per month to make sure that things stay affordable. But I think if I thought too much about the cost of therapy, I would want to not even do it every single month. So it's important for me just to not think about it and just put it on the credit card, pay it off. So along with refilling my cash envelopes, which we're gonna refill $980, there are also paying back my credit cards, contributing to savings, etc. Things that you guys maybe aren't seeing in this $980 worth of cash, but I promise you they happen. I'm a normal person just like you who has bills to pay. Now, speaking of pay and getting paid, let's talk about income quickly. So I am a freelancer. I work for myself, which means my income is very variable. For the past year, I've been a freelancer for almost a full year now. It was extremely stressful dealing with the fluctuating income, higher one month, lower some months. And I did have a few months in a row where it was quite low, where I was taking actually from my savings to pay my rent. It's funny looking back because people were like roasting me in the comments about that. And now when I sit here and look back, I'm so glad that I did that because that's life. Sometimes you've got to take from your savings and I'm not ashamed of that. And this month actually, so backtracking, hold on. This month was a lower earnings month for me. I have a few different sources of income, some that are more steady than others in terms of when they arrive, not necessarily the amount. So AdSense, YouTube AdSense arrives every month in the middle of the month. I also receive my payment from one of my contracts in the middle of the month. I always send out my invoice and they pay me straight away. So those are two payments that I receive in the middle of the month. I can always count on them. However, the amounts are variable. This month, I actually increased my AdSense payment by $500. So last month, my AdSense payment was $1,000. This month, it was about $1,500. It might have actually been $1,600. So I increased that by quite a bit. I'm really grateful for that. And that's actually big in part thanks to you guys who are watching my videos. So thank you for that. Really, really appreciate it. So AdSense was higher. That contract was lower. I didn't put a lot of time into that contract this month. And so when you're a contractor, you get out what you put in. So if you don't put in the hours, you don't get paid. So that one was a little bit lower. Then the other paycheck that is pretty steady is from my part-time job. So I have a part-time job working as a receptionist in a gym here in Montreal. I get paid twice a month, and it's always around like the beginning and the middle of the month. That amount varies. It's minimum wage, so it's not, you know, huge big paychecks, but I am really, really grateful for that. And that is something that I was thinking about this month is no matter the amount, it's just so nice to have something steady and to have another thing that's steady, because for a while it was just those two, AdSense and the contract payment, that was steady, but now I have this extra sort of steady income. And again, even if it's not the most money ever, it's just nice to know that I can rely on something. Plus it's fun to work there. So I'm just really, really grateful for that as well. The last two items, the last two income streams, if you will, are sponsored videos from YouTube and my copywriting contract. My copywriting contract, I invoice them once a month at the end of the month, and the past months, it had been quite slow. I wasn't earning very much from them. I was just working here and there. Some weeks I would do 0 hours. Some weeks I would do 5. It was quite slow. This month, I have been working so much for them, and I'm really happy because once again, you get out what you put in. You get out, what? I'm tired, you guys. Anyways, so my payment from that is going to be higher. I haven't actually sent out that invoice yet. We're the first of the month today, so I'll be able to send that out, but that money hasn't actually come in yet. But it's 3 times higher than it was last month, and it covers my rent, so that is an amazing feeling. The last thing is sponsorship money, which is, I think, on par for me, for most YouTubers, for a lot of YouTubers, I'll say. It's probably the highest source of their income. For me, in the past, it was always on par with AdSense. I would usually do 1 to 2 sponsored videos a month. Lately, with the recent growth in my channel, as well as getting a new manager, we have secured many more brand deals, which is amazing. Leading to that is going to be probably my highest source of earnings. So that's exciting. It's always like brands that I love and that I truly use. So that's an amazing feeling, and that's an accomplishment that I'm very proud of. However, in October, I talked about this in my monthly reset. In October, I did no sponsored videos, and sponsored videos typically take you a month to get paid. So if you do the work in October, you expect to see the paycheck in November, which is why for all of the sponsored videos I did in November, I haven't earned any money yet. That's gonna be in December, maybe even into January with the holidays coming up. So right now, sitting here, I'm looking at, okay, what did I earn actually? What did I do in October to get paid in November? And that was 0. So that is why I said I had a lower earnings month. It doesn't balance out from my contract being higher and from AdSense being higher. It does not balance out to earning enough to put money into savings, cover all of my spending, and cover my rent. But for once in my life, I'm not freaking out. because I know that I have stuff to look forward to in the future months, and I know I have a system that works. I didn't necessarily stick to it perfectly, but I know I can stick to it again. So I'm feeling pretty confident, and that is so different from how I felt probably this time last year, probably a couple months ago. Like, wow, 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 the growth is insane. And yeah, thanks for being on this journey with me. I hope that is somewhat clear about my income. I know it's confusing. It's even confusing to me too. So if you have any questions, let me know and I can answer them in the comments or in my next video. I feel like I talk so much in these videos, and my goal with these videos is not to be like precise to the dollar, everything balances, like checks and balances. I'm not an accountant. My goal is really to chat about money as if we were friends. Well, I mean, we are friends chatting about money. So I hope you understand that sometimes I'm not gonna say everything perfectly. I might not cover every single detail because I might miss it. If I was so to the point, one, I think these videos would be really boring, and two, they'd be really, really long. So anyways, that being said, I've got a huge mess on my desk. I'm gonna clean it up and we are going to stuff my envelopes. I did my nails just for that. No, I'm kidding. But I do feel like a hand model when I do the cash envelope stuffing. And like, look at all of these receipts, you guys. You can see why I didn't want to go through them all. So we have everything here, my list. This is the money to refill that I got from the bank today. This is what was left in my envelopes. The only one, actually, it's so funny, I forgot to mention this, that I underspent was treat yourself, because I didn't count the shoes nor the water bottle as treat yourself. So this is all of the money that was left in the envelopes. This is the savings envelope. This is another one that is new. This was everything that was left over from my envelopes last month. I decided to use it as savings for Christmas gifts. And this is the spent on credit envelope that is going to go to the bank with me, hopefully tomorrow, to pay off my credit card. So if I were to follow what I did last month, this money would go in here and would go towards Christmas gifts. I'm thinking though that I want this money right now to go in here to go to the bank, because I did overspend. And I forgot to say this as well, but I overspent by about $300. So I'm gonna take all of this, stick it in there. I mean, I think we're running out of room, but this is all gonna come to the bank with me tomorrow. That's gonna go onto my credit card, help me pay that off. This gets saved for Christmas gifts, and this is what we're gonna stuff right now. Okay, let's stuff these envelopes. This is my favorite part of the video. I love doing this so much. It's so much fun. The first category is groceries. So I'm keeping my budget the same at $400. However, I did already have my HelloFresh order pass through. I'm getting it this week. Actually, I got it today. I forgot, it's in my fridge. What's wrong with me? I need a good nap, you guys. I need a good nap. Clearly I'm tired. So that was $80. So we're gonna do 400 minus 80. The 80 is gonna go straight into the next month's refreshed spent on credit envelope. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 100, 2, 4, 6, 8, 200, 2, 4, 6, 8, 300, 2, 4, that's it, because we did 80. Wait a minute. 320, 400 minus 80 is 320. So that's going in here. Something I might start doing is actually splitting the groceries in half. So using one of my white envelopes, let me grab one. Using one of my white envelopes to hold half the cash so that I can keep my groceries envelope with me at all times, because like I said, I overspent on groceries, and it's because I didn't have it with me all the time without having to carry $400 with me at all times. So I think I'm gonna do that after, but groceries is done. The next category is dining out. Now, I made a decision to actually increase this one this month. I'll tell you later where I took it from, but from 160, we're gonna go up to 225. This is because I'm going to be spending some time in Ottawa, and I know that I always eat out more while seeing friends and just out and about with my sister, with Mary, etc. So I'm gonna bump that up to 225. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 200, and then 20. Well, I don't have a $5 bill. I don't know what I was thinking. So we'll just do 220. So satisfying. Next category is home. We do $50 a month, and I just use the $50 bill to make it nice and easy, and also to prevent me from spending it. Spent so much in the home category last month that I do not foresee needing it this month. Next category is business expenses. We're gonna do $40 a month. I reduced this significantly from October, if you guys remember, and that was because I wanted to use this money more for like lunch and coffees while I'm out and working, rather than buying stuff for the business and then limiting it to a certain amount when you need something for the business, you need something for the business. So that's that. We're gonna do $40. Transportation. Last month, this was very high. Last month, I decided to get the unlimited Opus card, which is the unlimited, like using the metro and bus system here in Montreal. I'm glad I had it because I was taking the metro quite a bit. I think I got my money's worth. However, moving forward, I don't know if that's how I want to continue because it just makes my overall transportation budget so expensive. Because I pay for my car is not fully paid off. I have a loan on the car. I pay insurance on the car. Actually, my insurance is prepaid, so I've already paid that and it was very expensive. And I pay parking every month. So I pay all of these things and my car is just so expensive that to also be paying for a Metro Pass just doesn't necessarily make sense. So I need to see like about driving to work and how much parking costs, because this is all because of my part-time job. So yeah, I just need to kind of look into that. I'm gonna try this month driving a little bit more to work and seeing how that goes. So I'm actually only going to give myself $30 in this category this month. I'm also gonna be in Ottawa. A lot of it, I took a bunch of time off of work, so I don't foresee even just like needing as much, you know what I mean? Because I won't be in Montreal. This is not $30. What is wrong with me? That's $30. I am not okay. Treat yourself, my favorite category, $80. I gotta start using some of these 50s. Okay, I'm running out of 20s, so I'm gonna go into my grocery budget as well as my dining out and just kind of swap some bills here. Might not need that. Okay, coffee is $40 a month, which is $10 a week. So far, this has worked out excellently. I love it. We're gonna keep going with that. Next up is personal. I was doing $30 a month. However, I just didn't plan my bills properly, so we're gonna have to do 40, which is fine. And that extra 10, I'm gonna take from Maggie's folder. So instead of 50, we're gonna do a 40 there. This month, I also overspent in the Maggie category because I had her teeth brushed. I had to buy food. Oh no, that was last month. It was on this month's credit card though. Anyways, I overspent in that category and she had to go to the vet. I really need to figure out a better budgeting system for my dog, but again, and you guys can see this kind of pattern that when it's expensive and I need to do it, I clearly don't like to think about it. So I just kind of have been not necessarily budgeting for her and just kind of paying for it and ignoring it. The last category is gifts. I did $40 for this. However, this is meant to be gifts sort of outside of the holiday season, where this month, I mean, it's probably gonna be more than $40. But we're just gonna attribute that for now and we'll see how it goes. The last part is just to clip everything into the folders. So I just need to take a minute and figure out what am I gonna have on me more frequently and what am I going to keep at home. But that's that. If you guys wanna see a beautiful clipping of the envelopes, let me roll for you guys this beautiful clip that I took in October. So that's how it looks when you fold everything in, and it's so satisfying. I'm gonna do it in a minute, but I just need to gather my thoughts for a second because I'm feeling extremely scatterbrained right now and I just need a calm moment to like clip those in and set an intention. I'm gonna set an intention for myself for my budgeting. So I'm gonna do that solo, and that's a wrap on this video. Hope you guys liked it. You guys requested to have everything all in one. So here it is, nice and long, chatty monthly money for you guys, and also Vlogmas Day 5, which is so exciting. Let me know any questions or thoughts that you have on this video in the comments down below. If you wanna enter to win the cash envelope set, head over to Vlogmas Day 2. And that's a wrap. I love you so much. Thank you for being on this journey with me. The next monthly money is gonna be at the beginning of January in a new year. So exciting. So I will see you guys probably tomorrow in the next Vlogmas or in a day or two. And yeah, all right, that's a wrap. Love you. Bye.